Man, gentlemen. All right, so this is what it is, man. When I talk about this creative journey that I'm on, right? Especially going live streaming and going over and and talking to people and doing little interview things. I could remember the day, and it's gonna sound crazy, people, but it's the absolute truth. The day that I really I fell in love with it, that I was like, yo, this is so dope. I really like this. Right. And it's not very often that you get to sit in front of somebody and talk to them and they don't understand what an impact they had on your life. Because I literally saw this guy doing an afternoon radio show and I was like, yo, the way he managed the room, the way he answered questions, the way he interacted with the audience, I thought it was fire. The energy that he brought. And I was one of their biggest fans. I used to always chime in, check in, like, hey, what's up? Ask a question because I thought it was phenomenal. Right. And it ever since that day, back then, it always was inside of me like, yo, I want to do that. I want to get on the mic. I want to get on the mic. I want to do that. I didn't know what the avenue was I was going to take. But like I said, I've been watching this guy. He's a beast. Not only is he a top-notch comedian that's worked with who's who, been on the stage with you name your favorite comedian, right? He's been an actor for years, right? He's going to talk about that some more in all kinds of roles. He's done radio, so he's a jack of all trades. As a matter of fact, he's a master of all trades. This is one of my guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm super excited and I'm honored to have a guy that's in his field doing his thing come down and check me out, somebody that's just really getting started in my journey and really kind of like, he doesn't have to come down and chat with your boy Mike Nav on DropN Dimes. He doesn't have to, but he showed mad love and he did. So I really appreciate it. Everybody, I want you to welcome my man, Ace Brown. What's going on, brother?
What's up? What's up? What's up, bro? How's everything?
Man, everything is great, bro. I can't even complain, man.
Yes,
I can't even complain. I definitely wanted, like I said to you before we went on, I was like, yo, just sit back. I want to really say thank you. Because I'm telling you, it's not often that, especially man to man, saying like, I'm actually older than you. Yeah. And it's very rare for somebody to look at somebody and go, yo, man, you inspired me, bro. Yo, you got me going on this thing. You know what I mean? But look, I can look at you and I can say that, man, because obviously we got a bond outside of this situation. So I could definitely always do that. But I wanted to make sure that the public knows the fact that I'm even doing this, a lot of it is attributed to me watching you and the level that you work at. You know what I'm saying? The way you move, it was just, I was like, yo, this guy's dope, man. I see myself, kind of following you. And there's a lot of stuff that you do that I try to that I've learned from.
Emulate,
you know what I mean? So, and that's where we're at now. So I'm really excited to have you, brother.
Man, I appreciate it. As just listening to it, it's kind of shocking. We spoke a little bit off air about it, but it's kind of shocking that, I was something that came from just me following my dream and my goal and tapping into it. And a lot of people don't understand that show. It was called the Ace Brown Brunch Show, and I just had an idea that I didn't want to do a typical morning show. So the gentleman that I had was the gentleman that I was working with. He was like, hey, what show do you want to do? And I was like, yo, let me get that app, like that, midday show. And he was like, all right, cool. And I was like, I'm gonna call it a brunch show, but I'm gonna run it like it's a morning show, but it's gonna be a brunch show. And if you remember, everybody on there, you couldn't say good morning. You had to say good brunching.
Good brunching. Yeah, good brunching.
And that just kept picking up to the point where a lot of people really remembered me from that. And actually, a lot of people still to this day be like, man, that show was dope. That show was dope.
Fire. The topics were good. The chemistry you had with your cast was dope. I remember the young lady that was on it. It was a nice chemistry. It was dope. The whole setup was fly because it would come on and it would be like, I honestly felt, and this is where part of the inspiration for me comes from. I actually felt like I was in the room with you guys. Mm-hmm. That was one of the things that I took away from that show. It was something like I said, I would watch it and it wasn't like I was a fan looking from the outside. It was like I was one of the chairs. And I was like, that's why I would comment. That's why I would whatever, because it felt like I was in the room with you guys. And that's a testament to how well it was being run and how you were managing the atmosphere. You know what I mean? That was fire. I loved it.
And what's crazy? I think we was a little bit before our time because that's when Facebook Live really started kicking off and things of that nature. which is how we built a lot of our platform audience. But one thing that I still hate to this day, and I know it's kind of hard, but there's very seldom shows that my whole idea, my whole goal was to address almost at least 90% of the comments that came across. So I never wanted to be where the ticker just kept going and going and going and going and going, because then the audience says, well, what's the point of me watching it if this person never engages with anything that I said? So I'm one of those type of people, even when I do shows now, my podcast that I do, I'm so engaging. If we're live, I'm so engaging on that ticker, like, hey, what that person say?
Right.
Let's comment on that. Let's engage with this person, because it makes that person feel, like you said, I'm sitting here at the show, I'm watching it.
That's what I'm aspiring to. I'm aspiring to get to the point where my platform is, like you said, where people are engaged, where people are chiming in, people are making comments, and I try to follow along. I try to read, but as the platform grows, that'll happen.
Yeah,
but that's another one. Like I said, that's one of the things that I took away from it. I saw the way you guys did that. That didn't go unnoticed, man. It was I would see, like, you would stop, you would read, and I saw sometimes you were getting comments. I'm talking about you were getting 100, and I would see, and I'd see you go back and just kind of like make sure that at least you got one person. If you saw them repeatedly, you at least got them once out there to let them know, hey, I see you. You're there. You're a valued fan.
Especially the normals. Like the normals, I never want to look over, because those are your day ones. Those are your day ones. So your day ones, you want to make sure that you always never get, as they say, too Hollywood for your day ones. So I'm always like that.
Yo, that's awesome, man. What do you call it? So we're doing 5 questions with DropN Dimes and my man Ace Brown. All right.
Mm-hmm.
What I try to do when I send the questions and I talk to you about them is I try to go behind the scenes, man. I don't want to talk about anything they can find on your bio. I want to give them a sneak peek into your mind of a creative. You know what I'm saying? A look behind the curtain of a comedian.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Nothing's all sunshine. Sometimes there's bad things, but I like to give that little glimpse. And I know the audience is definitely they definitely value that, because a lot of the comments that I get is that they appreciate that.
Yeah.
All right. We do. So, one of the questions I want to ask you is, I know that you've been an entertainer for years, that you were a kid.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is, when did you start? All right. Or when did you realize that you had this in you? Like, when did you really find out that you had a creative in you?
All right. So they give you the real, and I have to say, my star is coming over to say hello.
Keep talking. I'm gonna move it. Yeah. I'm gonna move a light. I have to move a light. Just keep talking,
problem.
man.
So
I'm listening.
go ahead. What's this? Be quiet. Daddy's talking. This is, you guys gotta understand, life of a dad. But at any rate, it started off, my first time getting into acting was when I was 8 years old. So acting at 8 was not when I was like, all right, you know what, I realized I have it, but I just started to get into acting. So to give you a quick story, I was a part of a acting school, or an art school in Newark, New Jersey. So anything dealing with performing arts, whether it be instruments, acting, dancing, anything dealing with performing arts, you go to the school and you do it. And I was acting, and I was in the drama class. My sister was as well. And Felicia Rashad, for those that do not know who Felicia Rashad is, that is Claire Huxtable, the Claire Huxtable.
Right, yeah, back in the day.
Yeah, her and Keisha Knight Pulliam, Rudy,
yeah,
from
the
Cosby Show, they came to see the class. And Keisha Knight Pulliam's manager at the time was a lady by the name of Shirley Grant, who is still out of Teaneck, New Jersey. Child manager for actors and actresses. And she saw my sister. She loved my sister. And when they came and saw me, they was like, oh, well, he's cute. Who's this? And she's like, this is my brother. They was like, bring him on. So that's how I got started. I didn't get serious about it, though, until I want to say I was an adult.
Okay.
And the reason being is because as a youth, I did Nickelodeon commercials. I did
Really?
I did a Nickelodeon commercial. I did Cheerios commercial. I had I played, I was an extra in Crooklyn. I auditioned for big roles. I tell you a funny story about a choice that I had to make that Mike, I lie to you not, Mike, I regret to this day. I regret to this day.
Really?
So here's the story. I auditioned for two roles at the same time, and people don't know that when you do these auditions, you go everywhere.
Right.
You go everywhere.
You travel.
Yeah. Well, not even so much traveling. They can give you, your manager could give you two things and say, "Hey, Mike, you have an audition at 4 o'clock for this thing and 6 o'clock for this thing." It'd be two different productions. One could be a commercial, one could be a movie, so on and so forth. Well, what I did was I auditioned for this show. I don't know if anybody remembers it, but it was Flex Alexander, who was the father on One. He had a show back in the day called Where I Live with Dougie Doug. Show back in the day. It didn't even last that long. I think it lasted like maybe 3 episodes. So I had that audition, and then I had an audition for the American Dream Jackson 5.
No, are you serious?
Yes, where they wanted me to play Marlon. So listen to this. This is a true story. Honest
I
God.
believe it. Let's go.
I land both of those roles. I get to California, where they send me to California for a whole week to tape Where I Live.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're still in production for the American Dream.
Right.
When they looked at the schedule was going to be taping at the same time. They called my manager and said he has to make a decision. My manager says to me, "I think you should go with Where I Live because the American Dream has not gotten the clearance from the Jacksons." JoJo hasn't said he wants that to happen. Because remember, this was when they was going to display that he was beating the kids. You know what I'm saying? He was spanking the kid. So it was a little bit up in there. They don't know if Michael want to be in on it, if the family wants to expose all of that.
Right.
My manager says, "Go with Where I Live." And we see what happened. Where I Live didn't make it. Meanwhile, the Jackson movie, I can't make it up. A friend of mine plays one of the guys that was in my class, my drama class. He plays Tito, the young Tito.
Yeah, the young Tito.
He plays the young Tito. And I was supposed to play alongside Jason Weaver. I had met Jason Weaver. We had ran lines together and everything. I was supposed to play Marlon.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Oh my God, man.
Yep.
So okay, so we're gonna make you see. Now we gotta go down that path. I was about to. Okay, you gotta tell me some more. So hold on a second. So you were saying that you passed up on that one opportunity and the other one flopped.
Yeah, because of course at the time I'm young, so my manager has the best decision. And granted, I don't hold no ill will towards it because she made the decision that made sense at the moment.
Right.
We got one that's a big project, but it's up in the air. If they say no, it doesn't happen. So let's go with the guarantee. I went with the guarantee. I went with the guarantee.
Oh man!
And it didn't make it past 3 episodes.
Holy shit! So okay, so now that we're talking about you as a kid, were you always like a funny guy? Because I know or is that something that came on later on?
Always been the humorous one. Always been the clown. Always been the life of the party. Always been the center of attention when it came to family functions, even at a young age. Come do this.
Oh, so you're the one that used to dance for $1? Hey,
yeah, it was come do this. But I didn't even do the dancing. It was more so come. I was very good at remembering lines. So it was come act this movie out. Come act this out.
Really?
So I would do that stuff. And a little fun fact is John Amos
Right.
Father
Got
from Good Times. That's my
R.I.P.
cousin.
Right? Didn't he? Oh no, that's John Amos is the one from
Good Times.
Good Times. Okay.
Yep.
You know, for years I thought he had died
Yo, it's crazy.
because he
A
died
lot
in
of
the show. Because
yeah,
he died in the show, so I
a
thought he was
lot
dead.
of people ask that. There was a thing going around like a couple years back, and they said he had passed away. And so many people, a lot of people don't know this. That's my cousin.
No.
That's my cousin.
Ladies and gentlemen, another die. Look at this, man.
Yeah.
We're getting exclusives here.
The crazy thing is, like, and I don't mean like cousin of a cousin. No, his father and my great grandmother, brother and sister.
Yeah.
Like, like
You're
right
right there.
right there. So the crazy
Wow.
thing was when this happened some years ago, immediately I called my mom, like, yo, John died? Like, whoa. Whoa.
Not John.
Yo,
Not
and
John.
my mother's calling up family members like, what? And they're like, nah, it's a hoax. Don't believe that. And I'm like, oh, okay. Whew. But yeah, it's crazy because that's that actually runs in our family. So
Wow. So yeah, that's a talented family, man. That's kind of dope, man. I like that.
I've always been the funny guy.
So we're talking about comedy, and it's evolving, and I'm always curious to talk to comedians about what are some of the changes that you've seen in the art, especially post-COVID. Like what's some of the shifts you've had to make? One of the maybe reinventing yourself. Is there anything you could?
Well, pre-COVID, when I first started liking comedy, we talking about me being 13 years old watching Def Comedy Jam. So we talking about 90s.
Oh wow! Yeah.
All right. So that's when I first fell in love with comedy. That's when I first fell in love with stand-up. But I did not know. The crazy thing was, I did not know how to get into comedy. I thought you had to be an actor or an actress to do comedy.
Really?
So I thought what happened in my head was I thought you had to be on a movie set, they're talking and realize you're the funny one. And then that branched you off to, I never knew the art of it. I never really understood the art of it. It wasn't until I got older that I got a book, and I read a book that gave the art of comedy. And then I went to a comedy club in 2007, late 2007, Stretch Factory in New Brunswick, New Jersey. And I went to go see D.L. Hughley.
Okay.
And when I went there, the owner was walking around. He was thanking everybody for coming out. And he's, I asked him, I said, hey, how can somebody become a comedian? And he was like, because by that time I already knew about open mics and everything. He was like, we got open mics every Wednesday. And I was like, all right. And it took me about a month to get the
courage to get up there.
Not even so much the courage, because I had the acting ability.
Right. Okay. So you were already, yeah.
Because I was like, I got a hit from day one. I didn't know nothing about, listen, it takes time.
Right. I was your chops.
Like, yeah, I'm like, I gotta be
Ed Murphy today. Yeah.
I gotta be ready to shoot my special in a month. Like that's what my thought process was.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like that. But I went up there in January 28th. And that was it. I never looked back. So to answer your question though, what I've seen different. First of all, there's no shows like that allows up and coming comics the opportunity to crack into the mainstream.
Oh, so you're saying right now that's out the window.
Yeah, unless you're getting on Comedy Central. And I see that things like Amazon Prime, they're allowing people to post their specials and everything, but there's no show that Mike Nav can go watch on a Friday night and say, this is the show right here where I could watch comics that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Maybe it might be some comics that I have. Like Def Comedy Jam, it'd be some people that you heard of, some people that you didn't. Comic View was some people that you heard of, some people that you didn't.
Yeah, nice mix. It was a nice mix.
It was a nice mix. There's no show like that right now. There's no show like that right now where you have a chance for comics that's been doing it 10 plus years, but just don't have the TV exposure. There's no chance for that. You always get these little droplings of a show, but nothing that holds water like Def Comedy Jam. So that's going. And then with COVID happening, more of this is happening. You know what I mean? You got a lot of people that have to tap into their social media to become creative. You know, I got friends of mine that are doing more sketches and things to that nature, or making their sound bites something on TikTok with the hopes that somebody picks that up and their sound bite gets
By the way,
bigger and bigger.
check my man Ace Brown on TikTok. He's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah,
Always coming out with some dope questions about
yeah.
different
And you
scenarios.
know what's crazy? All I did was take the thought with that of the same thing I do on the radio, and just was like, "Yo, let me do this."
Killing it. I love it. So, okay, so you're, as a working comedian, right? I always want to dive into the mind of a comedian. I think it's fascinating. You guys think outside the box. That's why things are funny. You look at it from a unique perspective, right? I want you to give the audience a peek behind the curtain, right? What's it like the first time you hit a stage? What's that feeling like?
For I'm going to speak for the average person. The average person, it's nothing but fear. It's nothing but fear. Nowadays, I'm going to say this. Now, your first show, if you do it the right but wrong way, and notice I'm saying that, the right but wrong way. The reason why I say it's the right but wrong way is Mike Nav is getting ready to get on stage. Mike Nav, this is Mike's first time getting on stage. Mike invites 30 people. So all 30 come out to see Mike. It's now you're comfortable. You got family there. You got friends there.
You got the automatic laugh. You got the
automatic laughs because you sitting there like, remember last Thursday and I remember I was there. Then I take Mike and say, man, you did a good job. Come with me next Tuesday to this place. Now you can't tell those same 30 people to come out no more. Now you get there and you trying to do the same thing, and it's like, what are you talking about?
It's not hitting.
Yeah, what are you talking about? So that's I said the right but wrong way. You know what I mean? It's right because you promote yourself, but it's wrong because you're not giving yourself the right, the right opportunity to see if you're good or bad or how to judge yourself. But when you're standing there and you're in the crowd or you're gazing the audience, wherever you're at, most of the time, a lot of people don't know comics, we will pace the room before we go to wherever we're going to get called from.
Okay.
You know what I mean? If you're in a room that doesn't have like a green room, you're just trying to be discreet. You're trying to be standoff. You don't really want to engage because people are going to be like, well, who you here to see tonight? And then you got to divulge, oh, yeah, I'm a comedian. Now all eyes is on you. Oh, he's a comedian. They're going to be pointing. What are you going to talk about tonight? And there's a whole bunch of questions. So we try to stay away from it.
Yeah, incognito, just kind of low.
Yeah, just try to stay in the cut, not too much. So let's say, for example, you get to that point, you're still nervous. Your whole thought process is nerves. And if you're one of those type of comedians that don't want to carry a book on stage, you don't want to carry no notepad, you're trying to look as professional as possible. You're running through your jokes.
Your step, right. Oh, man.
But when you get on stage, coming to stage, give it up, Ace Brown. Nothing's there.
Yo, that must be terrifying, dude.
It's gone. It's gone, bro. It's gone. So now you gotta come up with what did I write down? Can I come with it? That's why you see a lot of comedians.
What techniques do you use? What techniques do you use to kind of like bring it back?
Well, see, me, the reason why I say I'm different, and a lot of people that have watched me perform will agree, is because I talk about things that already happened. So when I'm a storyteller on stage.
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm your Bill Cosby's, your Kevin Hart's, I'm that flow of a comic because I like telling a story. Yeah, I like telling a story. Sinbad, I like, I'm one of those type of people
Okay.
that like tells I'm telling a story about what happened. Ali Sadiq is a newer comic that does it. A lot of people don't know about him. He's a very funny guy. But that's the type of person I am. I have a couple jabs that I could do, but I like to tell you about a story. And the way I write my jokes is after I see something funny that happened, I say to myself, whether it be between my wife and I, whether it be between my kids and I, my family and I ask myself, can I tell somebody this? And they didn't have to be there to make it to understand how funny it was.
Yeah,
And if
yeah.
the answer is yeah, I'll build on it. If the answer is no, I scrap it. I don't even talk about it. So for me, it's just remembering what happened and then put the pieces of the puzzle together. So okay, I got the 5-year-old that you seen. I got her. So now I'm sitting there talking about the things she did, and then that leads into my 13-year-old. It's all the kids.
Yeah,
Then I'll
yeah, yeah.
lead that into I'm married. That leads into, you know what I mean? So I just got to get the pieces of the puzzle to get linked together. But each one of them have their own story.
Ah, that's so dope, man. So you've worked with a lot of, big names that we might have heard of, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's always crazy to me, like, so what's one of your biggest shows today, and what was your approach? Like, are you somebody, and the reason I ask that, are you somebody that you're at the point of your career where you're just comfortable on stage, or are you still one of those people that they need that little nervous energy?
It depends on where I'm at. It depends on where I'm at. Like I still get nervous some places. I ain't gonna front. I ain't gonna make it seem like I'm built to stay. If you don't get those nerves, you don't have the love for the game. And the reason
Right.
why is because on any given night, something could go wrong, and you still got to be able to be on your toes. You don't never want to be. I remember I was telling a joke. I used to do a joke a lot, and a friend of mine who's like a mentor in the game, he came to me. He was like, "Yo, Ace," he was like, "Are you tired of saying that joke?" And I was like, "Nah." I was like, "Why you say that?" He was like, "Cause you sound like you're tired of saying it."
Oh, okay,
And
okay,
he
yeah, yeah,
and he
yeah.
said, "You got to remember, every show,
It's the first time they're
that's
hearing it.
that's the first time they heard it. It may be your 1,000th time telling it, but you gotta tell it as if it just happened." And I took that and I was like, I got it. Okay, cool.
Makes a lot of
So
sense. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So for me, I still get nervous. One of my shows to date that I would say really like shocked me was two shows. First show was at Ramapo College. I opened up for Kevin Hart.
Oh,
So when I
oh,
yeah, so when I opened up for Kevin Hart, first of all, this was before Kevin Hart was Kevin Hart. This was
all right.
right before he did Seriously Funny. He was actually gearing up for Seriously Funny.
Okay, okay.
And what wound up happening is we're at Rampo. We're at Rampo, and like I said, I'm a storyteller, so I gotta tell you the story so you can
Go right
enjoy
ahead,
it.
man. I love it.
Funny thing is, for those that do not know, Mike Nav and I are a part of a great fraternity, multicultural fraternity, Psi Sigma Phi. That's how I met Mike. Love Mike
That's
from
right.
day one. Love Mike from day one. That's not too many times do you get along with a person from day one, but you're one of them people that I always say,
My
okay,
guy.
from day one,
Absolutely.
he's been
My
my
guy.
dude. He's from day one. Like I've never. What you say about Mike? I smack. What you say? Like,
Appreciate
like
it,
from day
brother.
one.
Appreciate it.
So the crazy thing is, one of our frat brothers from my chapter, Damon, hits me up and says, "Hey, bro, I know somebody who could get you on stage with Kevin Hart." So I'm like, "Where?" He's like,
Yeah.
"At Ramapo." I was like, "You lying? Say word." He's like, "For real? All you got to do is send me a 5-minute clip." I said, "Cool." Sent it to him. He was like, "All right, she gonna call you in about an hour." I said, "What if she don't like it?" He's like, "She's gonna like it." I don't say nothing. I don't say nothing else. Okay. Girl calls me in about an hour. Okay, this is what time you need to be here, so on and so forth. Now, it's a big deal. Kevin
Yeah.
Hart got it sold out. Another one of our frat brothers, Julio, is with me. Julio is standing there. He's like, "Yo, I didn't get no tickets." I said, "What?" He's like, "Yo, I really want to see you perform, but I didn't buy no tickets." He's like, It was last minute. It was sold out. I was like, all right. So they opened the door for me and they was like, what's your name? I was like, Ace Brown. And they was like, who's this? Julio snatches the book bag off my shoulder and says, I'm his manager.
Nice room, man.
And we walk in. We walk in. They don't say nothing. We in the room. So we go in the back room. Kevin, his whole entourage eventually comes. And I'm thinking, all right, big time's here. Let's move out of their way. And he was like, who's on, how we doing the show? They tell him. He's like, that guy's right there is first. And then Spank, who runs with Kev still,
Right.
Spank Horton. He's like, then Spank, then you. He was like, yo, what's his name? It was like Ace Brown. He was like, yo, tell him come in the back. We chilling in the back with Kev. So I go on stage and I do my bit. Had about 5 to 7 minutes. I do my bit. And when I come off, Kev is sitting and he's like, man, that bit you got about grocery shopping, do this. And he gives me different pointers.
Notes. Yeah.
From to this day, Mike, I still do that joke and it still kills all the time.
Oh, wow.
It still kills all the time. So that was one show that I was just blown away about how it happened. The second,
it's like the stars are aligned. They all came together, man. That's kind of dope, man. I like that.
The second show was Madison Square Garden.
Ooh,
Madison Square Garden, Hot 97, April Fool's Day show.
Oh, wow.
And ironically, telling you this story, Mike, it involves our frat. I don't know. I'm not even making this up because now I'm thinking about it. It did. Another one of our frat brothers, Darlin.
Oh, Darlin. Yeah.
Darlin calls me up. Darlin says, yo, bro, you got 5 minutes recorded somewhere? And I said, wow, what's up? He was like, yo, they're doing this competition at Caroline's for Hot 97. It just came across our internship because he was doing like an intern somewhere. He was like, I thought about you. And I was like, for real? He was like, yo, send it to this email. I sent it to him. So what they were doing was Cypher Sounds was having, he was going to do a class clown segment. So I'm like, all right, cool. I get there is these two other comics. Now, by this time, I've been in the game about 2 years or so. 2 years, maybe a little bit more. I got my chops up a little bit more. So I go up in there, I'm scoping the room out, and I'm like, who these two dudes? They're like, oh, this is one of the guys in the competition. I never heard of them. So immediately I'm like, yeah, they trash. I'm about to blow this out the water. So I get up there, they do their thing, I do my thing. I get a standing ovation, I win the competition. So now I get to perform. Sean and Marlon Wayans was the host. You got Michael Blackson on the show. You got Tony Roberts on the show.
Oh, man, some giants.
Yeah.
Giants in the game.
Oh, man, it was crazy. It was crazy. And I get there, and now a lot of people that's in the comedy game like, yo, Ace is on the show. How'd you pull this off? And I'm like, yo, I had people in there. I get on stage, and this was a fulfilling feeling for me. I get on stage, it's pitch black. So this goes back to the nerves that I was saying.
Yeah.
I'm so used to doing small venues that I never knew that when you do these big venues where the lights are just shining on you.
Yeah, you don't really see too much in front.
Can't see nothing. I'm seeing maybe the first 2 rows, if that. I get up there, do my thing, but I don't hear the roar of the laugh. I'm like, all right, forget it. I get off stage, my phone goes off. It's Chris from your chapter.
Oh, okay, yeah.
My LB.
Yeah, Alvarado, yeah.
Yeah. He calls me. I'm like, hello? He's like, yo, I'm up in row such and such and such and such. Yo, you are hilarious. I'm like, yo, what's up? I'm like, that's what's up.
That is great, man.
Yep.
Oh shit, that's crazy. That must have been a good feeling, man. You out there in the row. I'm in row.
Yo, I'm sitting here because normally, you know, when we speak to our bros, it's like, some you speak to more than often. So we speak every so often. He come like maybe he butt dialed me because I know I'm always the first name in the list. I'm like maybe he butt dialed me. So I'm like hello, and I'm hearing the echo. I'm like hello. He's like yo. I'm in row such and such. Yo, you killed it. Yo, I'm like, for real. I was like, yo, I'm about
That's
to come back
fire.
out there. I felt so good, man.
That is fire. I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is hilarious.
Yep.
That's such a good story, man. You see, these are the kind of stories that people want to hear comedians share, Like it just leads into the next question. And when I ask comedians to talk about their great shows,
Mm-hmm.
right? You gotta give me what happened, you give me the story, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when I ask them to talk about the times that they bombed, I'm always astonished, man. I'm always thrown back about how much detail people remember. They're like,
Oh,
yo,
yes.
oh my God, when I bombed, and they go in and they tell you that's the story that they like. If they tell you a nice story, it was cool. Like you just told us that heartwarming story about, and then I know that when you tell the bomb, you're like, oh damn.
Man, let me tell you something. Okay. I have a man, I got two stories about me bombing. The first one really was, the first one was just me being young and not knowing the game. And it was a setup. It wasn't a setup in a bad way. It was just like, yo, this is a part of the game. This is a part of the game.
Yeah,
So, um, and I say this because there's a lot of comics. There's only one comic that I've ever heard say that they never bombed, and that was Monique. And still to this day, a lot of comics don't believe that. They're like, yo, she bombed. She just don't want to say it.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? But it's a part of the game. It's just a matter of it, and you might not bomb where you get booed, but you're gonna bomb where you like, I just didn't have a good set tonight. You know what I mean? I just didn't
yeah,
have a good
right.
set. Yeah. So, and that's the risk that you take every time. That's the whole point of the game, and you gotta go through it. So, well, why I'm in Jersey City, and I'm at a friend of mine's show. I'm new in the game. I'm getting introduced to people. So this was the dude's first time ever seeing me. And still to this day, me and him are very cool because he's like, he doesn't remember this story. Every time I tell this story, he's like, I don't remember that. And I'm like, bro, it happened. It
They're
happened.
like, let's keep it that
Like,
way. Let's
yeah.
keep it that way.
But no, my thing is, it happened. It happened.
Right.
I don't care. And the funny thing is, this since COVID, and it's funny that we're having this type of dialogue. Since COVID, I used to do this with comedians. The same thing you're doing. I used to, it was called chopping it up with comedians.
Yeah.
And I used to do it on Instagram. And I had when I tell you the story, the person that's in the story, he saw me talking about this to Talent, the comedian, because that's who my guest was. And he was like, yo, that happened? Yo, put me on your show. I didn't know that happened. So this is what happened. So my man Marlon Randolph, who's from Detroit, lives in New York. I hadn't met him at the time. I get there, and a good friend of mine who passed away, God rest his soul, comedian friend of mine, Big Love. They was like, Marlon said, I only got room for one more. So is either gonna be you. Now he knew Big Love. He was like, is it gonna be you, Love, or this new guy you got? Who's this new guy? He's like, put my man Ace up. So he's like, all right, you gonna go up. He tells us the order. I'm getting my nervous, my butterflies is going. Right before I'm getting ready to go up, he comes to me and said, hold up, man. I got one more before you go up. That's cool. I'm like, okay. I mean, the way the show normally goes is you go from bad to good. You know what I mean? You start off with your new jacks, then you go into your opener, your feature, headliner, or whatever like that. Very seldom. And you being in the game now, you try not to make it where somebody that's bad is following somebody that's real good.
Right.
So I was like, all right, who could it be? I mean, like, shoot, who could it be? So Marlon gets up there. He said, hey, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, I know we got the new jacks coming up and everything, but my man just came in the building. He got to get out of here because he got to go fly back to LA. Everybody start clapping your hands right now. You've seen this brother everywhere. Give it up for Rodney Barry. I'm like, wait, what?
Rodney Barry. Oh, yeah.
Wait, what? Who? Who just say? There's another dude named Rodney Barry here? Like, because I know he's talking about the Rodney Barry. Rodney Barry gets up, kills for 30 minutes. He comes off standing ovation. You give it up, come to the stage. Hey man, what's your name again?
Oh no. No, how's he gonna do you like that?
just hear me yell out, Ace. Oh yeah, give it up, Ace. I get up there.
Like you an afterthought. Oh.
I'm doing my thing, and this lady, no one's laughing. No one's laughing. This lady in the front was like, "Don't worry, you'll be funny one day."
Oh.
I was like, "Yo, I got off." Listen, and this how bad they do. See, people don't even know. There's a circuit, like, you know, blacks and Spanish circuit that they call the Chitlin circuit. Long time ago, that was the name that they stuck with it. But really, it's just that I love it. It's that bar lounge. It ain't the comedy club. It's those where you get the real audience. You ain't getting people in there that's expecting the art of comedy.
Yeah.
I paid $20. I want to laugh. So that's what you got in there, and I love it. I love it when I get to make my people laugh. I love the authenticity. Like I love it. Just like you said, the organicness of somebody saying, you funny, man. I don't want nobody saying, "Oh, I appreciate your work," and no. I was terrible. Tell me I was terrible. So during those times, though, you get hosts that will sit there and set you up. Meaning, when stuff goes on, they either gonna pick it out, they gonna take your joke and make it better. They gonna sit there and be like, "Oh, you think it was the crowd? Look, they laughing at me." And it's little different things that they do. It's just like it's like a big brother, picking on a
like
younger
a little hazy.
That's it. He must have got over to that DJ, Marvin. He must have got over to the DJ. And when I said, "Hey man, that's my time, Ace Brown," all of a sudden you hear, "Move, bitch. Get out the way."
Oh,
Get out
no.
Get out the way. I'm like,
what does that feel like walking? Is that like the walk of shame? Like, you know how when a chick, you see a girl walking out of a house at like 7 a.m. with her heels, and you're like, what is she doing? It must feel like that. It must feel like one of those, like,
I lost by 50 points. That's what it feel like. We in the playoff game and I lost by 50. Not no, we just lost. We lost by 50 in the playoffs.
Horrible.
You know what I'm saying? And I was the star player, and everybody. And I gotta go answer the interviews. Like, so what happened out there? We lost. That's what happened. Like that, man.
You went 0 for 25. Can you tell us? What was going on? You're like, Jesus Christ, really?
Was anything on your mind? Was anything on your mind? Like,
you want to hit them with we're talking about practice.
Yeah,
we're talking about practice.
Nope, I'm hurt. So
I'm hurt, man.
The funny thing was from me telling that story, because I was telling Talent the second story I'm gonna tell you. I was telling Talent that me and Rodney Barry became cool. And I actually interviewed him, got his name. He's like, "Yo, I don't remember that." I'm like, "Yeah, you're not supposed to. You left the stage in a blaze of glory, like, and set me on fire.
You didn't leave me shit."
Yeah, let me there. So now the second one was me just being inexperienced, and that one wasn't as elaborate, but Talent. Everybody knows Talent being Mr. It's Just Comedy from Def Comedy Jam, one of the kings of New York, and he had a show up in the Bronx, and I'm new. I'm with one of my mentors. My mentor said, "You're going to get up." One of the rules in comedy in the room, because when you do mainstream rooms, when you do comedy clubs, they're strict on schedule. They'll hand you a schedule. Here you go, Mike. You see exactly what time you're going on. I'm going on at 7:15. I'm supposed to be off by 7:25. You know what I mean? They give you,
and they to the letter.
Yep. Not on this circuit. Not on this circuit. This circuit, they might do show start at 8. We ain't starting at 8:30. You know what I mean? You don't know what time you're going up. It is what it is.
DJ still setting up. Really.
Yeah, you get your DJ still setting up.
Manager in a fight with his wife.
Yeah. Promoter waiting for the magic school bus with all the people to come in. Yo, I got a party at 20 that's gonna be there, whatever. So I get there and the place is packed. But every 10 minutes I'm going to Talent like, am I next? Am I next? Am I next? Am I next? And he like, "Yo, who are you?" And I'm like, yo, I bought Jay. My name Ace Brown, man. I bought Jay. He like, "Bro, I'm gonna let you know when it should go." Am I next? Am I next? So finally, he goes ahead and he says, "Yo, I gotta bring up this comedian." He brings up this guy who's doing Def Comedy Jam named Face Man. Face Man had just got out of jail, so but he's from the Bronx, so the crowd loves him.
Home crowd, yeah.
Stand ovation. Talent said, "Coming up, give it up, Ace." I said, "My God, dog." I get up there, crickets. Crickets. I did not deserve to be in that part of the show. Like my part of the show was so far ahead. Talent went up, and Talent says on the mic, "That's what your ass get for asking me when you going up. Don't ever ask no." He goes in on me.
On top of everything, he puts you on blast.
Put me on blast.
On top of everything, he puts you on blast.
He was like, you should have. He's like, he said, he was like, man, if we had a JV squad, you wouldn't have made that. Goes in on me. And to this day, me and Talent cool though. Built my chops up, man. Built my chops up.
He said, if this was JV, you wouldn't have made
like,
that.
Yo, this was JV, you wouldn't have made that squad. He was like, you don't even belong on this stage. Just went in on me.
All right. So I'm always curious to know this next question. Not only who inspires you, but more so, who's on your Mount Rushmore? Who's your Mount Rushmore of comedians? Who are your guys that you're like? I mean, don't get me wrong. I know for the most part, a lot of people have too many to name. Like, I got this one now. Yeah. But just kind of let's give me a couple that you say these are my guys. I put them up on that inspiration wise.
I gotta go with Bill Cosby. I gotta go with Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence. And I'm naming people that everybody would know because I don't want to name this. There's a whole different Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. That's for the people that do it, right? Yeah, yeah. I've heard that. I heard that talk. You know who I heard that about? I don't remember who was saying. I think it was Cat Williams or something was saying how Bernie Mac was like their god in Chicago. He was like, before he blew up, before he was out here on Def Call, did all that, he was like their guy.
Bernie Mac as well as Robin Harris.
Robin Harris is another one. Yeah. Oh my God, yeah.
That was their guys. That was their guys. Like when you get in the game, it's just like the hoops, people that play ball. And I use this analogy a lot, and people are like, yo, that's true. I'm like, yo, you have the NBA players, then you have the overseas players, and then you have street ballers.
Yeah, that's a great analogy, man. That's a great analogy.
Those NBA players or those overseas players, they could name you at least 10 street ballers who need to be in the league.
When they were coming up, they'll talk about, Pee Wee Kirkland and this guy. And I remember you hear about forget about it. The street ball legends in New York City. Yeah. That's a great analogy, man.
Yep. And that's what it is.
Give us the four we might have known about, right?
I
might know about.
All right, so
and then just get us with the
four that I would say that everybody knows about. I would definitely say, like I said, Bill Cosby, Martin Lawrence. I'm gonna say Sinbad.
Sinbad's a monster. A lot of people caught Sinbad. They don't really know it. Like he's like these young kids. They don't know. He was on sitcoms. He was the guy for a while.
And then
he was on A Different World.
Yep.
He was the guy for a minute.
Yeah, and then my fourth person is Samore.
Funny woman.
Hilarious.
Yes.
She's hilarious.
Samore. I've seen Samore tear down a room.
Yo,
I saw her tear down a room a couple times.
Oh my God, Samore is hilarious. Now, if I gotta go, people that may be watching your show that may know comics, my four for Mount Rushmore is right now, and they keep interchanging because people just keep grinding.
Yeah, people move.
Right now, my four gotta be Jay. They call him Crazy Jay from Jersey. That is one. Talent is another one.
Oh no, yeah, Talent is a funny guy, man.
Talent is another one. Um, uh, let's see. I'm gonna go with another person would be Ali Sadiq.
He's a newer comic too, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
he's been in the game. He's been in the game for a minute. Actually, if you look him up on YouTube, he's been on like a lot of the later shows, and he just had, man, he's a storyteller. He's one of those cool cats or whatever
yeah.
that you could just listen to in the car and be like, yo, this dude is hilarious. Yo, and then I will say, because he didn't make the top one, I'm gonna go with Chappelle.
Spell's a storytelling monster, man. He's one of
Yep.
those. He's
Yep.
definitely one of those guys, man. I'm a big fan of comedy. Obviously, I don't know the intricacies and stuff, but like I said, I'm a big fan of yours and your comedy, man. I think you're hilarious. I go on YouTube. I
Thank you.
go down the rabbit hole, watch a lot of your content. Definitely follow you on TikTok with all your
Yeah.
questions and stuff. Always liking your stuff. Definitely a fan. Definitely a fan. With that said, man, yo, what do you got going on? Tell us, man. Put it out there. I know you got some shows coming up. I know you got a couple of your podcasts. Definitely put that out there. We can put the link down below.
My podcast is called Dad's Intervention Podcast. That's where
That's
me, yeah, we're on a break right now, season break right now. We've been rocking for like 2 years. Is me and two other comics, two other fellow comic of mine, where we just talk about everything about being a dad and being a man. But we bring the twist to it. So we're talking everything from relationships to issues to sex to anything,
yeah,
and
yeah.
it just never fails. Whatever's on the top of our head when it comes to different things, that's what we talk about.
I'm a big cheerleader, right? For any platform that men can be vulnerable.
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent of changing the narrative from what we've been accustomed to, what we've been fed by the media, what we've been fed in stereotypes. Don't get me wrong. I believe in masculinity,
Mm-hmm.
but I also believe that, being vulnerable is not a weakness.
It's not a
Opening
weakness.
up
Yeah.
about what's going on with you is not a weakness. I talk about this all the time. You see people swallow their problems, not share, and before you know it, 65 years old comes around, they're dropping dead, man. You're like, what
Yep.
happened? They didn't open up. It's the stress. It's killing.
Yep.
So I love anytime somebody has a platform where they're talking about things like fatherhood, relationships, sex. I'm big on those. That's
Yeah.
kind of my lane right now. What I love to do.
We're
So
gonna
I would
definitely have to
love
bring
to
you
check
on,
check
man,
you
because
guys
we
out.
that's what we do. We've been bringing dads on to just talk about different things and just bring them on our platform, and not so much an interview, but just bring in on conversations and get other dads and other men perspective on whatever it is that we're talking about. You know what I mean? Whether it be something about the latest thing in the news, because we have a news segment where we talk about
Touch on current events.
yeah, we talk about something, we get one topic and we call it dad snoop, where we just snooping around and everything. And then we have like a Ask Dad segment where someone actually writes us an email and we talk about that. We've had conversations where a guy, he actually, his child's mother passed away and he was like, I don't know how to raise a girl. You know what I mean? So
Oh,
we touched on that. We
that's
touched
deep.
on we touched on, a female asked us about guys, one of her boyfriend actually like butt plugs, and she was like, does that make him gay? And we was, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, we talking about a whole bunch of stuff, but we do it for an hour and we go from A to Z. And we do it every week, and
Yeah.
people like it. So I got that going on. I got a couple shows. Mother's Day is coming up, so
Mother's Day, yes.
got that coming up. I got a couple shows that I'm being Jersey. I'm being Jersey for two events for that. North Carolina, I'll be in North Carolina for an event. So I got a couple shows coming up. So that's all that's all stuff that'll be posted on my social media.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Drop your social media so that they can look for you on Instagram.
everything is I am Ace Brown. Everything is on Instagram. I am Ace Brown. Um, TikTok. I am Ace Brown. Facebook is just Ace Brown. Everything is I am Ace Brown or just Ace Brown. YouTube. Type in I am Ace Brown. Everything is on there. Even if you type in, and if you forget on YouTube, just type in Ace Brown comedian. My stuff will come up. My short films will come up.
Yes.
I got my short
I
films
saw something you did. Let's talk about the short film. I saw something you did. Man, what was the project? I'm trying to. You put out a short film about maybe a couple years ago. I'm trying to think when it was. I saw something that you had put up.
Which one was it? Was it with the females or when I played in it?
You played in it.
Okay, that was I Need Help.
Yes, I think you played in it.
It was a 5-part series.
Yes, I saw most of that. Yeah.
I Need Help. So the thing is, and I think you'll really like this. The thing is, that came from me thinking about men trying to find a way to, like you just said, open up. And I actually threw a monkey wrench in there because there's a line that a lot of people skip over until I say it. Then they run it back like, yo, that's so true. There's a line that the guy that plays as a doctor says when everybody goes, and just to give you guys a synopsis on it, the guy goes to go talk to his doctor and explain to his doctor what's going on in his life.
Mm-hmm.
And then come to find out that it's a little bit more than what he can handle, mentally. And one of the lines in there that the doctor says to the gentleman is, don't tell your business to people. No, don't tell your business if you don't want people in it, even if it is a doctor. And we go ahead as people, we talk to lawyers when we having legal trouble. We talk or family trouble, whether it be, child custody, whether it be divorce, whether we put all of that stuff. Then we go to doctors and we tell the doctors, I got this. Doctors know all this. And we always believe in confidentiality. We always believe in that. Who's to say these doctors don't go home and say what happened? Because when you come home to your wife, to your husband,
that
first
pillow
thing
talk
they say is, how was your day?
That pillow talk, yeah.
Now, they may not divulge your names, but now they got something in it. And that's where it came from. Me just thinking like, dang, it's, this is just something that can happen. And I think it hit home for a lot of people.
Yeah, that sharing thing is a big one, especially because of what I'm doing now. I'm doing a lot of relationship coaching, and I find that the majority of people just need somebody to talk to.
Exactly.
Again, I'm very particular about not crossing a certain line. My line is, if it's toxic or anything like that, I have a list of referrals with people that are therapists or even psychiatrists that I've been developing to just pass off. So that, I know my boundaries. I don't try to cross over it. But a lot of it has to do with heartbreak. A lot of it has to do with not understanding why they can't find love, things like that. Little techniques. But, a lot of it, the confidentiality part of it, I take that very personal, man. When people come to me with their secrets, I try to be a vault, you know what I mean? But even me, I need somebody to talk to. I won't talk about them, but what I do make sure is that I won't talk about what they're telling me. What I do talk about is my emotions. It's like I kind of dump my emotions. I make sure I don't hold on, because when you're getting a lot of people's hurt, pain, things, and you internalize it or you take it in, that can fuck you up. It can mess you up. So what I do is I'll take whatever they're giving me, I put that over here, and then I dump my own. Make sure that I dump my own stuff daily, and it all goes back to that whole being vulnerable thing, man. It's just I was talking to one of our bros, Jay Waltner.
Okay.
And he actually wants to sit and do something because we had an interesting, brief exchange. It wasn't like a major conversation, but it's something that I'm definitely going to follow up with him it's about that. It's about, sometimes you don't feel strong, man. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Sometimes you don't. And who do you go to? You know what I'm saying? If you go
that's the
to,
problem. That's the problem. Like a lot of people don't understand that with comedy, a lot of comedians are depressed. Like a lot of
it's
comedians,
that,
like
what is
Mike,
that,
when I
that mask, what is it, the clown face where
yep,
you're crying on the inside?
yep, the laugh now, cry later, and
Yeah, yeah, you got
it's
to be the center. Like, it's like, who's make it? I would associate it like this. There's the caretaker or the nurturer, and you got to ask yourself, who's taking care of them?
who taking care of them.
You know what I
I'm
mean, man?
making you
It's like,
laugh, but who makes me smile?
right.
And that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand, that there's a lot of comedians that commit suicide mentally. I ain't even talking about the ones that actually did it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
talking about the ones that have committed suicide mentally,
Wow.
where it takes them so long to either get back, or so long to, like a lot of people are like, oh, well, uh, just, I mean, not to indulge in a whole lot of more information for your platform, but a lot of people like, man, Kevin Hart's able to come out with all of these different specials time after time, and I'm like, yeah, he has, it's good because he has writers, he has a team, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. But you have
Mhm.
4 different people that help out to make this one person get stuff out. It ain't that one person that sat there and said, I gave you an hour of what was in my mind. I need some time to rest.
Not only that, but you also need time to experience life, to
Again.
re-experience life. I actually went through something similar. So I wrote a book, "Shallow River to Deep Ocean: A Man's Guide to Understanding His Woman by
Mm,
First Understanding Himself."
mm.
My second book, right? I start to write it, and it's a book about depression. I went through about with depression, man, and I fought through it, and I learned about myself, and I started writing this book. But I wasn't in the place. How do I put this? Okay, so in order to write that book, I have to go to a dark place.
Yeah.
I'm not there. I'm
No.
happy. I feel
Yeah.
good. You know what I'm saying? Life is good for me right now. So I'm literally sitting in front of the computer like,
I can't write it.
it's not happening, man. It's not happening. So I can see where a team with different
A team.
experiences,
Yeah, they
different
can
people
help.
come in, chime in,
Yeah.
been able to do that. Because one person, you literally have to be like if I ever got to a position where they're like, you have to write that book,
I
how?
can't do it.
You know what I mean?
Because
That's
not
why you
only
get
that,
artists, like record artists, like singers, and they come out with this bomb first album, and it drew on literally a lifetime worth of experience, worth of creativity, and now they got to come back and boom, second album, and you're like,
exactly.
shit, where do I get it from?
It's so crazy that you say that, because a lot of comedian friends that I have, I used to, I would, my oldest, the group that I really run with, my oldest is the oldest out of the group. My youngest is amongst their kids now that they're older. So they used to always be like, man, you know, they used to always compare my material to like Kevin Hart's material, and be like, man, you talking about your kids and da 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 da. And I'm like, well, first, I've rarely looked at Kevin's stuff as far as like I watch it because I just like comedy. I studied Bill Cosby. I studied Martin Lawrence. And the
Right.
reason why is because Bill Cosby just had everything about his family and everything about being a father. And I just studied that. And when I was watching, I was like, yo, this is what I want to do. And then the crazy thing was, they was like, man, I can't think of these jokes. I can't think of this. And I was like, well, that's because y'all talking about stuff that don't matter to you. Wait
Right.
until you have kids. So now that our youngest, like, well, my youngest and then their oldest is like 5, 6, 7,
Right.
and
Now
they're
they have
starting to
material for
incorporate.
days.
Man, I had one of my friends called me just like 2 days ago. He was like, yo, I've been murdering these stages. I'm like, yeah, you got material? He was like, yeah, I've been talking about the kids. Oh,
Oh, kids will give you, man, listen, I
but
was just with my daughter, for a 14-year-old daughter. Oh my God, man. She did so much funny shit in a matter of days. Oh my God, it was hilarious.
yep,
Hilarious.
that's what
Well,
they do. And
oh man.
they give, like you said, they just having them around, you know what I mean?
The silly shit, the music they listen to.
Yes.
It's like, it was so funny because we were talking about something, right? And you know, I played some music for her, and she was like, she put some stuff on my YouTube Music, and it was all those TikTok songs going back and forth. And I'm like, that's the only way I know these songs because of TikTok, right? And I'm listening, and then it gets into one of those, a dick in your mouth and shit,
Yeah.
and I'm like, yeah, right. And she pulls this one on me. She goes, "What? What do you mean?" Because I start to do the whole that thing. Oh God, that music, you know, catch myself. And she goes, "Wait, Dad. Hold on a second, because my friend's mother said there was a song. Hold on, let me look." And she looks on her phone and she plays "Just Put It in Her Mouth," you know. And I'm just sitting there like,
well, first
you
of all,
got me. All right, you got me.
First of all, you're not gonna be friends with that little girl no more because her mother told too much stuff. Second of all,
I'm like, oh damn, man, you got me. You know, all this shit I'm talking over here, and we're talking about, you know, 2 Live Crew and Uncle Luke, and I'm over here talking. Come on, man.
That's why. I mean, of course, you want appropriateness, but that's why I don't really be hammering them. My 13, she'll be 13 actually next Tuesday. And the funny thing that I always say about her, like, I'm still trying to develop it because I know people go through. I said, you know, TikTok is a gift and a curse. And I said, the curse is these kids going to get their damn phone stolen because my daughter will prop a phone up anywhere.
And do a dance.
We could be in the middle of Walmart. She got her phone laying on the bread doing all of this.
Oh, my God.
Doing all of this movement and stuff, you know. And somebody gonna grab this loaf and your phone. Get the damn phone off the bread. Like,
that's so funny.
And then I got my 5-year-old who don't even know the words, but she comes out of nowhere. She's like, "Daddy, I'm a savage."
I'm a savage.
I'm like, what?
No, you're not. You're not allowed to be a savage.
Yeah, word. You don't spell savage. Like,
oh man.
So it's crazy, man.
Brother, let me tell you something, man. It was an absolute pleasure to sit with you and chat, man, and catch up with you and see what you're doing and just a little insight into your creative brain, man. I really appreciate you coming by. Like I told you in the beginning, man, you're definitely one of the guys that got me moving, man. That really showed me what it was like, you know, like, so you know how you talk about there's the comedians people know, and then there's the people that you look to. Mm-hmm. You're one of the people that I look to, man. You definitely are, bro. And I mean, I'm sure that you project even across his live stream, people see, you know, what you come with the energy you come with, man, you know? So
thank you.
I want to say thank you very much. Everybody out there, please like, share, check out I Am Ace Brown on Instagram. You can check him out on TikTok, YouTube. I Am Ace Brown. His comedy's up there, some of his short films. Thank you, brother. I really appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, man. Keep supporting my man Mike Nav, dropping dimes, man. Make sure y'all keep supporting him.
Thank you. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are, what are we? We are out of here.